We all know that feeling. Someone hurts you deeply. They betray your trust. They talk behind your back. They block your success. The pain cuts through your heart like a knife. You want justice. You want them to feel what you felt. But here's the truth. God already sees everything. He knows exactly what happened to you. And right now, divine justice is being prepared. This video isn't about revenge. It's about understanding the powerful spiritual law that's already in motion. God is about to humiliate someone who hurt you, but your interference could ruin everything. Every tear you've cried has been counted. Every sleepless night has been noticed. The universe keeps perfect records. Many people miss their moment of vindication because they step in too soon. They try to force justice with their own hands. They expose, confront, or attack before the divine plan is complete. This only delays your blessing. Stay with me to discover why stepping back allows God's perfect justice to unfold. Learn the signs that heavenly intervention is already working in your situation. Understand why your silence now will speak volumes later. The person who hurt you is about to face a humiliation so perfect, only God could orchestrate it. There exists a natural law of justice that governs our universe. It operates silently yet consistently, beyond human control or manipulation. This law ensures that whatever energy someone puts out eventually returns to them, not always immediately, but inevitably. When someone hurts you, they create an imbalance in this natural order. They disturb the harmony of relationships and trust that exists between people. God sees this disruption. Nothing escapes divine sight. Every harsh word, every betrayal, every calculated move to bring you down is recorded in the spiritual ledger. Justice doesn't sleep or forget. It simply waits for perfect timing. Pain inflicted on others carries weight in the spiritual realm. That weight accumulates over time, growing heavier until it can no longer be carried by the person who caused it. This is when the natural law of justice begins its work, slowly at first, then with gathering momentum. Those who hurt others often walk away thinking they've escaped consequences. They might even celebrate their seeming victory over you. This false sense of security becomes part of their coming humiliation. While they believe they've gotten away with their actions, invisible wheels are turning. Justice operates through unexpected channels. A person who hurt you might suddenly lose opportunities they thought were guaranteed. Relationships they valued might begin to crumble. Their reputation, something they carefully built, might start showing cracks. Hidden truths about their character emerge into plain view for everyone to see. This natural law works with perfect precision. It doesn't punish too harshly or too lightly. It matches exactly what was done. Someone who spread lies will be exposed through truth. Someone who stole opportunity will watch opportunities vanish. Someone who betrayed trust will experience betrayal. God calibrates this divine response with perfect wisdom, not to destroy the person who hurt you, but to correct the imbalance they created. This correction process often includes public exposure of private behaviors, the very definition of humiliation. Their masks fall away, revealing what was always beneath. Signs emerge when divine justice is in motion, though many miss them completely. First comes an unusual silence from those who hurt you. People who once boldly attacked you suddenly go quiet. This isn't coincidence, it's recognition that something has shifted in their circumstances. They sense pressure building, but can't identify its source. Small disruptions begin appearing in their lives. Plans that once worked flawlessly now contain unexpected complications. Relationships they relied on start showing strain. Their confident demeanor develops cracks as anxiety creeps in. These aren't random events, but carefully orchestrated moments of divine intervention. Watch for sudden reversals in how others perceive them. Someone who carefully crafted their public image may find people questioning their character. Truth has a way of seeping through even the strongest barriers. What was hidden gradually becomes visible to everyone around them. Coincidences multiply that cannot be explained away. People from their past reappear with information they thought was buried. Conversations they believed were private somehow become known. Technology fails at critical moments, exposing what they never intended to share. These aren't accidents, but divine timing at work. Notice how their own words come back to haunt them. Things they said about you or others return to their doorstep. Their criticisms of others suddenly apply to their own situations. Their judgments transform into prophecies about their own fate. This mirroring effect demonstrates spiritual laws in action. Strange doors close for them inexplicably. Opportunities they were counting on vanish without explanation. Promotions go to others despite their qualifications. Business deals fall through at the last minute. Financial problems arise from unexpected sources. Each closed door represents divine protection working on your behalf. Sleep often abandons those facing coming judgment. They experience restless nights and troubled dreams. Inner peace becomes elusive as their conscience activates. This internal disturbance reflects spiritual realignment happening within them, preparing them for the lessons they need to learn. Pay attention when mutual connections suddenly treat you differently, with new respect or unexpected kindness. This subtle shift signals changing spiritual currents around you. What others once believed about you is being corrected behind the scenes, all without your direct involvement or defense. Divine timing works with perfect precision when left undisturbed. Jumping into situations prematurely disrupts this sacred process. When somebody hurts you and God begins arranging their humbling experience, interfering actually prevents complete justice from manifesting. This happens because human actions lack divine perspective. We see only what's visible, while God sees everything, including future consequences. Attempting to expose or confront those who hurt you shifts responsibility away from heavenly hands into human ones. This transfer of authority immediately limits what can happen. Human justice is incomplete, imperfect, and often misguided despite good intentions. Divine justice reaches places no human action ever could, into hearts, minds, and circumstances beyond anyone's control. Interference comes from impatience and distrust. Waiting feels impossible when pain burns fresh in memory. Yet rushing ahead essentially tells God, I don't trust your timeline. This subtle message of doubt restricts blessing flow in spiritual realms. Patience signals faith, and faith attracts miracles that human effort cannot produce. Speaking too soon warns enemies about coming consequences. This gives them time to prepare defenses, create excuses, or shift blame elsewhere. Silence keeps them unaware until divine timing reaches its perfect moment. Their humbling becomes more complete when it arrives unexpectedly, without warning signs they might recognize. Taking personal revenge contaminates justice with negative energy. Actions motivated by hurt feelings or desire for retribution carry spiritual impurities that block blessings. Clean justice happens only when personal emotions don't drive corrective measures. Stepping back allows pure justice to flow without contamination from anger or resentment. Premature confrontation often backfires completely. Without divine backing, accusers frequently become accused. Without perfect timing, truth tellers appear as troublemakers. Without spiritual preparation, justice seekers end up looking petty or vindictive. These role reversals happen because interference disrupts spiritual positioning necessary for truth to prevail. Trying to orchestrate someone's downfall reveals character flaws within ourselves. This damages spiritual growth and delays personal elevation. Pursuing vengeance creates spiritual ties that bind victims to abusers indefinitely. Stepping back breaks these toxic connections and allows complete healing, while divine justice unfolds separately from personal recovery. Interference also prevents learning crucial spiritual lessons. Each painful situation contains wisdom that fully emerges only during patient waiting. Acting hastily bypasses these growth opportunities and keeps victims cycling through similar painful experiences with different people. Stepping back creates space for divine power to flow unrestricted. This deliberate withdrawal isn't weakness, but strategic positioning. When hurt people remove themselves from confrontation, they actually gain superior vantage points to witness coming justice. Distance provides clarity that close engagement never could. From this removed position, patterns become visible that remain hidden during active conflict. Silence communicates more powerfully than any words during times of divine intervention. Refusing to defend, explain, or counterattack confuses those who expect typical reactions. This unexpected response creates internal disruption for attackers who rely on predictable patterns. Their attacks lose momentum when met with calm detachment rather than emotional reaction. Walking away conserves precious spiritual energy needed for personal growth and healing. Fighting unnecessary battles drains internal resources that should support recovery instead. This energy preservation allows rapid advancement once divine justice clears obstacles from paths forward. Those who step back find themselves suddenly moving ahead, while opponents remain stuck addressing consequences. Emotional detachment breaks invisible cords, binding victims to abusers. These unseen connections allow negative energy transfers that perpetuate cycles of pain. Stepping back consciously severs these ties, preventing further spiritual drainage. This separation creates protective barriers against future attempts to inflict similar wounds. Restraint demonstrates remarkable spiritual maturity that witnesses recognize immediately. This quiet strength speaks volumes about character development. Others watching situations unfold notice this unusual composure and reconsider their perspectives about everyone involved. Public opinion often shifts dramatically without a single word being spoken in self-defense. Patience cultivates inner peace that sustains through difficult waiting periods. This tranquility becomes unshakable foundation for future stability. While attackers experience increasing inner turmoil, those who step back discover growing serenity that radiates outward, attracting positive relationships and opportunities. Surrender to divine timing acknowledges higher wisdom operating beyond human understanding. This acknowledgement opens channels for supernatural intervention inaccessible through personal effort alone. Miracles happen precisely because human hands stop interfering with heavenly movements. Mental and emotional freedom emerges when stepping back becomes lifestyle rather than temporary tactic. This liberation allows complete focus on personal destiny instead of others' actions. Former victims transform into visionaries who see beyond immediate circumstances into beautiful futures unfolding before them. Their energy shifts entirely from reaction to creation, leaving attackers fighting shadows while targets advance toward brightness. Karma arrives without announcement, often when those who hurt others least expect disruption. Its timing feels almost surgical in precision, waiting until someone believes they've escaped consequences completely. This false security makes what follows even more impactful. Suddenly, everything changes for them. Carefully constructed facades begin crumbling from unexpected pressure points. Problems multiply faster than solutions can be found. Divine justice creates perfect symmetry between actions and consequences. People who spread rumors suddenly find themselves subject to whispers. Those who sabotage careers watch their own professional lives unravel mysteriously. Individuals who stole credit for others' work get publicly exposed for intellectual theft. Each situation mirrors exactly what they inflicted, creating inescapable learning opportunities. Public humiliation often forms part of karmic justice because it addresses private arrogance. Someone who secretly believed themselves superior to others faces situations that reveal their ordinary humanity. Weaknesses they mocked in victims become glaringly obvious in their own behavior. Pride literally comes before their fall, setting up lessons that transform their perspective permanently. Attempts to escape consequences only deepen karmic entanglements. Running from responsibility creates additional spiritual debt that compounds original offenses. Each denial, each blame shifting statement, each refusal to acknowledge wrongdoing adds weight to coming correction. This accumulation ensures that when justice finally manifests, it addresses complete patterns rather than isolated incidents. Witnesses play crucial roles during karmic visitations. People who observed original mistreatment also witness resulting consequences. This audience ensures lessons extend beyond individuals directly involved. Communities learn collectively about respect, integrity, and inevitable accountability. These shared observations restore faith in moral balance that seemed absent during periods of apparent injustice. Timing of karmic returns often coincides with moments of maximum visibility. People face consequences precisely when reputation matters most to them. Job interviews derail unexpectedly. Important presentations fall apart mysteriously. Relationships dissolve during milestone celebrations. This exquisite timing isn't random, but carefully calibrated to create maximum awareness. Physical manifestations frequently accompany spiritual correction. Stress creates visible effects as internal pressure mounts. Sleep disturbances lead to deteriorating appearance. Concentration problems cause performance issues. These external signs make internal spiritual processes visible to everyone around them, serving as warning signals for others considering similar harmful actions. Karmic justice brings opportunities for genuine transformation rather than mere punishment. Each painful consequence contains seeds of potential growth. Those humble enough to recognize these embedded lessons can emerge transformed, with deeper empathy and appreciation for others. This redemptive potential reveals divine compassion operating even within correction. Peace becomes precious currency during waiting seasons. Guarding internal tranquility requires deliberate daily practice while divine justice unfolds. Creating healthy distance from situations involves more than physical separation. It demands emotional and mental boundaries that prevent unnecessary disturbance. This protective space allows healing to progress regardless of external circumstances. Limiting information intake helps maintain calm-centeredness. Constantly checking social media for updates about those who caused harm creates unhealthy connections that disrupt peace. Reducing exposure to gossip channels prevents re-traumatization through repeated storytelling. This information fast creates mental clarity that supports forward movement rather than keeping attention fixed on painful past events. Redirecting focus toward personal growth transforms waiting periods into productive seasons. Learning new skills builds confidence damaged by hurtful encounters. Pursuing neglected interests rekindles joy that suffering temporarily extinguished. Each positive step forward diminishes power that painful memories hold over present experiences. Building supportive communities provides emotional stability during turbulent times. Surrounding yourself with people who affirm worth and potential creates protective barriers against lingering doubts planted by abusers. These healthy relationships demonstrate what respectful interaction looks like, recalibrating internal expectations and boundaries. Spiritual practices anchor souls during stormy seasons. Prayer creates direct communication channels with divine power orchestrating justice. Meditation clears mental clutter that accumulates during stressful waiting. Gratitude rituals highlight blessings that remain even amid difficulty. These practices maintain vital spiritual connections when human relationships disappoint. Physical self-care becomes non-negotiable when navigating emotional challenges. Sleep quality directly impacts resilience needed for recovery journeys. Nutritional choices affect brain chemistry that influences emotional regulation. Movement releases tension stored in bodies after traumatic experiences. These tangible practices ground healing processes in physical reality. Forgiveness works silently behind scenes while justice unfolds publicly. This internal release doesn't excuse harmful actions, but frees victims from emotional bondage to perpetrators. Forgiveness happens privately, requiring no contact or reconciliation with those who caused harm. This personal liberation allows complete healing regardless of whether others ever acknowledge wrongdoing. Celebrating small victories maintains momentum during extended waiting periods. Noticing moments of joy that gradually return signals healing progress. Recognizing increased emotional stability marks significant recovery milestones. Acknowledging newfound wisdom gained through difficult experiences honors growth that pain inadvertently catalyzed. Emotions surge unpredictably while waiting for divine justice. Anger flares without warning when memories resurface unexpectedly. Sadness floods in during quiet moments when guards drop. Fear whispers about potential future hurts that might await. These emotional waves demand acknowledgement rather than suppression. Feeling emotions fully actually accelerates healing, while denial extends suffering indefinitely. Journaling creates safe space for expressing raw feelings that might seem inappropriate to share publicly. Writing uncensored thoughts allows emotional release without causing additional relationship complications. This private processing prevents emotional buildup that often leads to impulsive actions. Pages absorb intensity that might otherwise fuel premature confrontations that delay divine timing. Finding healthy physical outlets for emotional energy prevents internal pressure from building to dangerous levels. Vigorous exercise transforms anger into productive movement. Creative activities channel pain into meaningful expression. Nature immersion soothes activated nervous systems. These embodied practices honor emotional reality while preventing destructive manifestations. Setting time limits for difficult emotions establishes healthy boundaries with pain. Allowing specific periods for processing grief prevents suffering from consuming entire days. This scheduled approach acknowledges emotional needs while protecting productivity and joy. Gradually, time needed for processing diminishes as healing progresses steadily. Practicing mindful observation shifts relationship with challenging emotions. Watching feelings rise and fall without immediate reaction creates crucial space between triggers and responses. This slight pause prevents automatic behaviors that often complicate situations further. Observing emotions without judgment reduces their intensity naturally. Separating facts from interpretations clarifies thinking during emotionally charged waiting periods. Listing objective events without attached meanings reduces rumination significantly. This factual focus counters catastrophic thinking patterns that heighten distress unnecessarily. Clear distinction between what actually happened and what it might mean provides mental relief. Developing self-compassion practices counteracts shame that often accompanies victimization. Speaking kindly to yourself during difficult moments builds internal resources depleted by hurtful encounters. This gentle self-relationship models how healthy attachments function, creating templates for future connections. Self-compassion doesn't excuse harmful actions, but acknowledges genuine pain they caused. Finding meaning within suffering transforms waiting from passive endurance to purposeful journey. Identifying lessons embedded within painful experiences creates value from situations that initially seemed entirely negative. This meaning-making process doesn't justify mistreatment, but extracts wisdom that benefits future navigation through complicated human relationships. Divine timing operates with extraordinary precision beyond human comprehension. Each delay serves specific purposes that become clear only in retrospect. What initially feels like painful waiting reveals itself as necessary preparation. This perfect orchestration ensures all elements align exactly when needed for maximum impact. Nothing happens too early or too late when heavenly hands control timelines. Justice, delivered at precisely the right moment, creates undeniable clarity for everyone involved. Premature consequences might be dismissed as coincidence or bad luck. Perfectly timed divine intervention leaves no doubt about causal connections between actions and outcomes. This unmistakable alignment eliminates confusion about why certain events unfold as they do. Waiting seasons allow complete evidence collection that ensures thorough justice. During silent periods, people who caused harm often continue patterns that provide additional proof of character issues. This accumulated evidence creates comprehensive cases that address complete behavior patterns rather than isolated incidents. Divine timing gathers every necessary detail before bringing matters to light. Perfect timing ensures witnesses are positioned properly to observe consequences. Key people need to be present when divine justice manifests. These strategic observers carry stories forward that become cautionary tales for others. Their presence validates experiences of those who suffered silently and waited patiently for vindication. Delayed justice often arrives simultaneously with new opportunities for those who waited faithfully. This divine synchronization creates dramatic contrast between emerging blessings and unfolding consequences. While doors open for patient victims, they close firmly for those who caused harm. This parallel timing highlights spiritual principles operating behind visible circumstances. Internal transformation completes during waiting periods so recipients stand ready for coming blessings. Character development requires time that cannot be rushed. Patience, resilience, discernment, and wisdom grow gradually through extended testing. These qualities prepare individuals to handle vindication with maturity when it finally arrives. Multiple storylines converge at divinely appointed moments to create maximum learning potential. Individual situations connect with broader patterns affecting entire communities. Personal vindication often coincides with collective awakening to important truths. These synchronized revelations create powerful waves of positive change, extending far beyond individual circumstances. Spiritual laws operate with mathematical precision that human timing cannot duplicate. Each person receives exactly what their actions have earned, no more and no less. This perfect calibration ensures justice serves its true purpose of restoration rather than mere punishment. Divine timing creates opportunities for genuine redemption alongside necessary correction. God sees every wound inflicted upon you. Nothing escapes divine notice. The tears you've cried, the opportunities stolen, the reputation damaged, all recorded in perfect detail. Justice moves forward even now, arranging circumstances beyond human control. Your job remains simple yet challenging. Stay out of the way. Divine humiliation arrives with perfect timing that human interference cannot improve. Stepping back doesn't mean giving up. It means positioning yourself wisely as heavenly wisdom executes flawless justice. This restraint demonstrates extraordinary spiritual maturity that speaks volumes without saying a word. While waiting, focus entirely on personal healing and growth. Let divine hands handle the rest. Watch from a distance as natural consequences unfold exactly as they should. The same power that balances planets in orbit ensures moral balance in human affairs. This perfect justice leaves no debt unpaid and no wound unaddressed. Trust the process completely. What seems delayed is merely being perfected behind scenes. When it finally manifests, you'll understand why waiting was necessary. Divine timing creates undeniable clarity that premature action would have compromised. This clarity benefits everyone involved, even those facing consequences. If this message resonated with you today, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us reach others who need this same encouragement.